Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Today, we're going to be taking a look at some clips from More Than Tracy T, where she's talking about fatphobia in the space of self-help movements. I love these artsy types, they always crack me up. I'm guessing there will be no complaints. People within this community tend to just kind of roll with the punches, not a lot of complaints. So let us proceed with the applying of comb to mustache.
So as a fat person, one of the most dangerous spaces for me where I know that I will experience the most fat phobia is self-help, self-development, life coachy kind of spaces.
So people that are big into self-help and life coaching and stuff are often fatphobic. Translation, they told me to lose weight to better my life.
And the reason for that is a lot of times what these places are teaching you is don't hold yourself back with your mindset. You can do more than you believe you can do if you just set your mind to it, right?
Those losers told you could do whatever you put your mind to? That is a loser mentality, man.
And I have found that super useful in every area of my life but my weight.
Bruh. So you've been able to accomplish every one of your goals except the weight loss. Well, you have to actually do it, You can't just say, I take personal accountability for all of my actions. I put forth the hard work to lose weight. And then the next day, you come out of the cocoon and you are a beautiful butterfly with a badunkadunk. That's not how that works. You can do anything you put your mind to, and you're going to get the results out of it based on the amount of effort you put into it. Is this the one area of your life that you haven't been honest with yourself? Every other area, you're like, yeah, I could learn that language. Yeah, I could read that book. I could learn that calculus or whatever. But when it comes to this one, you've got so many personal issues tied into it.
Because the fact is, there are factors that are working against you biologically. And so your weight isn't necessarily this linear thing that you can 100% control.
Yes, it is. If you had no arms and no legs, I could help you lose or gain weight based solely on what you eat. If you were gaining weight, we would feed you less. If you were still gaining weight, less. Still? Lesser still. I know this is a crazy, crazy concept. We're not going to go from you oh, I'm gaining weight, I just can't do anything to change. And then we make a dietary change and all of a sudden you've lost too much weight and now you don't live anymore. We don't go from overweight to not living anymore. We can stop at the correct place in between.
Especially if, like me, you have a condition that makes losing weight more difficult. And
yeah, a lot of people have medical conditions that make it more difficult to lose weight. It doesn't make it impossible, though. You just need to adjust. Michelle McDaniel has PCOS.
And gaining weight more easy. Or that's just how your genetics sit, or whatever.
Nobody's genetics make them just pull calories from the air. Weight being genetic is the biggest crock of nonsense I've ever heard. The reason you see overweight people that also have overweight children is because they're the ones in charge of who eats what within the house. So they're having those kids eat the same way that they eat.
We're not all on an equal playing field there.
It may be easier for some and more difficult for others, sure, but you'll just have to adjust your effort levels, unless you enjoy where you're at.
And by the way, we're also not on an equal playing field in life in general, and these places are very expensive.
Oh, so you have to be rich to lose weight. Oh, I forgot about that. I forgot about the part where I was rich. I can't even pack up the house without the kitchen being full of boxes. There's literally not enough room in here for me to pack until the moving truck gets here and I can put some of these boxes in it. Oh yes, you've got to be rich to lose weight. I keep forgetting. Because rich people hire personal trainers to come and just start moving their arms for them. Or somebody to come along and slap a donut out of their mouth. Like I've said before, I would gladly follow a person around and slap unhealthy food out of their hands for a very large fee. This would require a lot of my time, so I'm going to have to charge quite a bit of money.
But that's another discussion, and I do believe they are still useful if you have access to them. Anyway, in college I was doing a program at one of these places, and I was really working on kind of unlearning my internalized limitations that I had placed on myself as a fat person. And one day I got up and I shared with the group about how I felt so limited by my appearance and I was ugly and no one would ever want to date me and all this stuff. I was being really vulnerable, and they coached me on it, and everyone was kind of no, you're beautiful, shift your mindset, and they helped me with it, and I did genuinely find it very helpful.
Yeah, they taught you how to shift your mindset. Like, stop focusing on the negative things and focus on what you can do to change. It is completely pointless to just sit here and dwell on all the negative aspects of ourselves or things that might have happened in the past or all this wacky stuff. What you need to do is learn the lessons from the past and then move on. If you dwell on it, it will start to poison you. There's a huge push these days for everybody to embrace every single emotion the second that it comes to them and not disconnect from any of them. But to be a mature human being, your conscious mind has to be in control of this thing. You shouldn't go around giving up control of yourself to whatever stupid emotion happens to come across you.
And afterward, because I think this is something a lot of people are really afraid to talk about, a lot of people were coming up to me and being like, oh my god, thank you for being so vulnerable, like I relate so much. And it made me a little uncomfortable because I was like, this is a lot of praise coming at me. But, it was really sweet and really nice. And then one lady comes up to me and she's saying all the same things as everybody else. And she's like, I really struggled with this too. And I had to work on myself to find a solution. And I'm like, yeah, okay. Thinking that she's going to be like, I learned to love myself. And then she hands me a card. And the card is her business card for selling Herbalife.
Bruh. Dun, dun, dun. Well, yeah. Dude, those Herbalife people are everywhere, huh? They're all blending into normal society, pretending to be part of whatever, but they're actually secretly working for Herbalife. You've been working in the office with Bob for several years. One day you're expressing your frustrations with whatever stupid work-related crap, and Bob is like, I really feel for you, buddy, and I think I can help. And then he pulls out this case of Herbalife, and you're like, damn it, Bob. I'd like to think that Herbalife employees are just infiltrating every sector known to man. They're in the private sector, they're in government. The guy that you've been working with for years, you didn't realize that he's actually just a secret paid shill for Herbalife, waiting for his moment to spring forth and sell you these stupid pills that don't do anything.
She literally said, oh, I totally understand where you're coming from. Here, fix your problems by getting skinny. And that to me is what is so dangerous about these self-development kind of places, because it's like, what do you apply that narrative to? You know what I mean? And then where does that narrative turn toxic, where it's like, no, it's your responsibility to fix yourself?
That's not toxic. It is your responsibility to fix yourself. Nobody can do it for you.
Anyway, this is why I'm scared of anybody who calls themselves a health coach.
Alright, so some lady tried to sell you some Herbalife. We've all been there. And now you're opposed to anybody who calls themselves a health coach at all. Well, luckily, I'm not a health coach. I'm a wellness coach. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not any kind of coach. So to you, the whole, you are in charge of your own life and you can do anything you put your mind to is completely and absolutely relevant in all facets of life. Except for your weight. It's weird. As if you don't have control of what you put here and how you move these. That's how I exercise. I just go to the gym, I do a few of these babies for a couple hours, and then I leave. Sometimes I hit some of this. That's pretty much all you need, dog. Do the stanky leg. Those are the only exercises that you will ever need. Do a little bit of stanky leg, maybe a couple of Cabbage Patch actions, and call me in the morning. Anyway, that about does it. Thanks for watching, commenting, liking, and subscribing. And I'll see you in the next one.